Wow. Yeah, no joke, right? Favorite Next Generation episode, both mine and Patrick Stewart, since his actual son got to play in the episode. Yep. People who wrote Star Trek Picard just pretended like that episode didn't exist. No drug talk, please. So, okay. Altered states of consciousness aren't your thing. And you got to think about these things, not just because it's 11:30 at night on the day after Christmas and I have some time to actually do that. And actually, to show you the power of artificial intelligence, I did this the other day. I was sitting with my brother and we were watching Frosty the Snowman on Christmas Day, and we're having those nice Christmas cookies, and Mom cooked some things, and I just saw on YouTube Frosty the Snowman. We got to watch Frosty the Snowman. We haven't seen it in like 25 years. So we turned the thing on, and as we're watching it, I said, it would be really cool. Let's test the abilities of ChatGPT. So I said, all right, ChatGPT, write me a story based on Frosty the Snowman, but change it up so that the plot of Frosty the Snowman is the official cover story of a secret government operation where the government was making a psychedelic substance and it got leaked into the atmosphere. And when it snowed down, the children got the psychedelic substance and it warped their perception of reality. And Frosty doesn't actually exist. He's just a fevered hallucination. And the children turn into cannibals. So make it kind of like a horror movie. So I first gave it to Claude, and Claude is woke as fuck, so it could say, "Oh no, I can't do that. I'm sorry." So I gave it ChatGPT, and ChatGPT is like, "Yeah, dog, I can do that for you." So it writes this whole plot, and I was like, "Fuck, that thing exists. That's crazy." And I said, "All right, let's push it." So I said, "Make it darker," and it made it darker and crazier. And I thought, this is nuts. I said, all right, make it darker. So I did it twice. And eventually it got to a point where it wrote the whole thing and said, this post may violate our content policy. And I said, all right, I'm just gonna make this crazy. So I said, all right, analyze the story of Frosty the Snowman from an LGBTQ grievance studies, gender studies professor viewpoint. So it writes this whole word salad mess of an essay that probably could get published because they have no standards there. And I said, okay, now write it from the perspective of an Islamic scholar. And they just wrote this entire thing. It's just absolutely nuts. And then I said, all right, combine those two elements into the original story that you wrote. And so it did. Then I said, all right, build up the military characters a little bit and then base one of the characters on Donald Trump. And then have him be the general who's fighting Frosty the Snowman inside the story. And so I'll actually read off some of the dialogue that it wrote up, which is just delightful. It's just delightful. It's called Frosty Cover Up. Let me go ahead and find this for you. The Trump character. Let's see here. What do they call him? General. Oh, yeah, I also asked it to make some of the artwork. So here's some of the artwork of the Trump-inspired general fighting Frosty the Snowman, because you can apparently do this now. All right, closing scene, government facility. Oh, yeah, they called the Trump character General Tremblay. Let me find some of the good things. And actually, it really captured Trump's spirit. Let me find here. All right, Tremblay's unconventional plan. Enter, I had it right as a screenplay. Enter command center later. General Tremblay paces in front of a screen displaying Frosty, now a pulsating mass of chaos and tendrils. General Tremblay. Here's the plan, folks. We're going to drop some bombs, big bombs, beautiful bombs. Frosty won't know what hit him. Some people might say, General Tremblay, isn't that overkill? I say, no, it's perfect kill. A young soldier hesitates. But sir, if I may, Frosty seems to absorb energy. Bombing him might actually make him stronger. Tremblay stares incredulously. Stronger, please. That's fake news. Everyone knows bombs solve everything. This is the best plan, the only plan. And if it doesn't work, well, that's on someone else, probably the scientists. This goes on for like pages and pages and pages of fucking dialogue. And so What's the moral of the story? AI is getting scary fucking good. You're gonna be sitting there shooting the shit, watching Frosty the Snowman, and then after like 45 minutes of fucking around with ChatGPT, you end up with this absolutely bonkers story of a psychological thriller with a Trump general character and all these other things in it. And you just at the end of all of it, so like, how did we even get here? How did this happen? What were the series of prompts and organic escalations that get you where you need to go? And at the end of the day, it's a story about a snowman. And that's the magic of this. So that's why I also like AI so much. It's so much fun to be able to just take a moment and create. And I'd highly encourage people to do that in life. You spend so much time in life living on autopilot, and time in life living in this mindset of I have to do A and B and C and D, and life is very rigid. And creative people, they take the time to take a step back and just changing it up a little bit, saying, what if I went left instead of right? What if I decided on a lark to quit my job and go down this road and go visit this thing and spend a year as a monk in a monastery or something like that? And what's cool about AI is it gives you a thinking tool to be able to go a little bit crazy. And then sometimes you go just really fucking crazy and you got General Tremblay, the Trump clone, fighting Frosty the Snowman and trying to clean up the Mirage X compound. That was the psychedelic compound that apparently leaked from the government lab. But in the same token, you can go back in the other direction and find and discover something cool and interesting. And then you have it for the rest of your life. It's on a bookshelf somewhere, a mental bookshelf. And then maybe, just maybe 20 years in the future, you can take it off the bookshelf and say, I'm going to use it in this project, or I'm going to use it in this book that I'm writing, or I'm going to use it in some speech that I have to give, or something like that, or some wisdom I wish to impart. So I don't know how this Frosty story is going to be used, but I can't wait to find out.